Hello, my name is Dwight Trible, and I'm very, very thankful and proud to be a part of this group, Cosmic Vibrations. We just put out our first record on Spiritmuse Records called Pathways and Passages, and we hope that everybody in the whole wide world will listen to it because I believe that it will bless your spirit.
Så jeg vil også gerne tale med alle folk i Danmark og måske i Norge. I kan forstå, hvad jeg siger, så det er lang tid siden, men jeg kan godt se, at mit dansk, det er ikke særlig præcis, men alligevel, vi er så glade for vores blad. De her på vinyl, plus vi har CD. Så hvis man går til cosmic-vibrations.com, så kan man kigge og lytte til, hvad de har, og så kan man også købe. Så tusind tak. Så er vi her.
Selafia ni atukwe. That's Yoruba, Nigeria, and I'm very proud to be a member of this organization. And the music we're playing is on a level of spirituality, and it's on another plane to be creative and to be at the forefront of the next phase that's going to be about in the future. And I'm very proud to be a part of this Modupe.
Bienvenidas sean esta noche al World Stage, escenario mundial. Nosotros, Cosmic Vibraciones, compuesto por Pablo Calogero, flautas, saxofones. Yo mismo, Christopher Garcia, percussion de India, de Indígena México. Derf Reklaw, congas, botella, flautas. Bree Smith, drumset, electronic manipulations, looping. Y Dwight Trible on voice and percussion. Not here ahora, no hay aquí ahora. Es John B. Williams on bajo. Y aunque todos hemos viajado por el mundo tocando música variada a lo largo de los años, nuestro hogar es actualmente en Los Ángeles, California, en Estados Unidos. Compartimos con ustedes que Spiritmuse Records, que tiene su sede en el Reino Unido de UK, ha sacado un nuevo álbum de nosotros que ha sido editado en vinilo, on vinyl, on CD, in the digital domain, donde la música se sigue creando en el momento, music in the moment, al momento, at the moment y cada momento, every moment. El grupo continúa recibiendo excelentes críticas de Europa y Asia, América del Norte, pero muy pocas de los países de habla hispana, España. Así que te enviamos un saludo para hacerte saber que existimos y experimentar la música que seguimos creando y damos tu opinión. Puedes encontrar nuestra música en Bandcamp, en Spotify y en nuestro sitio cosmic-vibrations.com. Gracias a cada uno de ustedes por dedicar un momento de tiempo para nosotros y esperamos escuchar cualquier comentario que les gustaría compartir. Gracias.
Qué buena. Mira, aquí tú tienes músicos con muchas experiencias, años de tocando. Y ahora nosotros tenemos un grupo, más o menos un grupo experimental, pero la experimental es de la tierra, es en el cielo. Y nosotros tocamos música por la medicina que vienen cuando tú escuchas esta música. Tú tienes, te aceptamos la medicina que nosotros trae para ti. Por favor, nosotros tenemos un disco. Cuando tú tienes el tiempo, compre una. Soporta la música, porque música es la medicina de la gente. Gracias.
Yeah. Okay, so welcome back. We're Cosmic Vibrations, and we would like to share some of the things that we went through in the process. First of all, the fact that I have to say for myself, I'm just so glad, so grateful, and feel so blessed to be with a group of musicians. I really wish John B. could have been here, but it's just a really magical group of artists that are so trusting, and the lack of ego is just astounding, because I think anybody here and any musician that I know have been in situations with others, and that nasty old ego can just jump in there, and all of a sudden it just becomes a whole different way of creating music together. And because our music is so centered around improvisation, it's vital to have that. But I mean, these beautiful souls here, there's so much joy to hang out with these guys, and even when we're not performing, like in the green rooms, that's just as much fun as the performance. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but I'm serious that the stories that we hear and the exchange we have with each other is it's magical. It's like a family. It's really like a family. So I wanted to ask Dwight this question, and that is because we just feel so blessed to be able to be with a label, with Spiritmuse Records out of London, because they're very selective about who they bring in. Their idea is not to have like 100 artists, but because they want to help to promote. I mean, they look at it as a true connection. And it's like they told us, Dwight and I have had conversations with them through the whole process, and they told us that they started out as an archival or doing remixes of older recordings, especially David Murray's one, and there are others too. But they wanted to carry it on and go to the next level and bring in new artists. So the thing that I wanted to ask Dwight about is when that first, as we were getting into the project, and I would like you to tell how you decided, how you helped us to decide on Spiritmuse Records as the label.
Well, there was several record labels that had shown interest in what we were doing from the very beginning, and which was beautiful. That you can have record labels that are actually kind of coming for you and really hot for what you might be doing, and just sort of researching on Spiritmuse and after talking with them and all of that, and feeling their vibration and feeling like they almost were like another extension of the group, in a way. That Spiritmuse was an extension of the group, and I just felt like this is the place that we're supposed to be. Now I just pray that I can convince everybody else in the group that this is the right record company, because that was the thing. Like how are we gonna to convince the others of what we're feeling, because the whole thing about Cosmic Vibrations to me is it's an experiment in love, and the way that I see this thing is something that's different from anything I've ever been in, you know, and it's like I want all of us to be completely, you know, when we all, you know, that's why we all signed the contract. Everything that one person gets, if what I get, everybody else gets. That there's no difference in anything. So the only thing that can screw this up is it's got to be like you were talking before, the ego, and you know, that ego thing creeping in. But you know, the beautiful thing about this group is that is not something that to me is evident or present in anybody in the group. So I just want to see how long this wonderful experiment of love can go on unperverted.
And beautiful that you said how long, because that happens to be track number, I think, 2 or 3 on the recording.
You hold it. But yeah, you know, so that's the thing, you know. I mean, you know, and I just think that what is actually on this record, you know, I mean, this is just a little tip of the iceberg of what this group is capable of doing creatively. I mean, you know, I mean, you know, and I love what we have here, but man, I think that there's so much that we got that, you know, that I mean, it's almost like an endless flow of living water that's just coming, you know, and so that.
Yeah, but what I would say about that, the most important thing that you're saying there to me is each one of us, we have experiences. We all have life, and John B, who's not here, had an experience. So if you add it up, we've got hundreds of years of experience, and I'm talking about playing with our mentors and our ancestors and people that have given us this thing. So this gift, and to understand how and what we're doing, and that message is very important. The love message. But I was just saying the reason it flows like that is because we're not young. We've been doing this for a long time, each one of us. So there's something to that. Just us standing. So I just had to say that.
And to also to kind of back up for a minute, it was August of 2017 that Dwight told us that he had a dream, and he emailed each of us in the group and said, hey, here's an idea. How would you guys feel about working together in an all improvised group of musicians, no rehearsals? And when everybody said yes, we'll do that. And then he gave us the gig. He set up the gig here, right here at the world stage. Was our first gig, and most of us had never played with each other.
Yeah.
And man, the dream came true.
Yeah. Well, you know, of course, I played with everybody individually in one incarnation or the other. You know, and probably Derf longer than anybody, but. You know, just, you know, in my spirit, you know, it just came to me that, you know, these people, man, I'm just excited to see what could possibly happen. And when everybody said yes, I was like, oh, shucks. Wow. You know, and the thing is, from the moment that we started, and when we started that first night, and it was almost like it felt to me like it was like maybe 5 minutes, but we had played for an hour, and it was, you know, it was over, and I'm like, oh my God! Then we got another, and it just felt like it was like, you know, we could have just continued to play, you know, through eternity, you know, and we never would have run out of ideas to do.
Right.
So. Yeah, so I'm really, really, really excited about what's happening with this. You know, I mean, I told Breeze, man, if something happens to me, Breeze, you gotta promise me that you will make sure that this record gets out. You gotta put your right hand up.
And I did, and we did, and it's here.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yes, it's very organic what we're doing, and I've played with groups that have been like with AHM members and people like that where we did a lot of things, but it's not like the level that we're doing because as Dwight was saying, that we're egoless, so we're more into the creating and bringing things into the world that has not touch yet, and that's a great thing for me to be a part of this organization and for what we're doing.
It's very much music in the moment, at the moment, every moment, which is life. That's what life is. And there's three drummer percussionists in the group: a bassist, John Williams, Pablo Calogero on woodwinds, and Dwight on vocals and percussion. But the three percussionists, it's just like one big percussion thing.
Yeah.
It's never like, okay, he's gonna solo and he's gonna, no, it's just like the whole thing is like a good conversation. It just keeps evolving. It's not like, oh, you need to be quiet so I can say, that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen because everybody's just listening. And it's not, there's no division at the edge of the stage between the audience and the ensemble. The ensemble and the audience are experiencing the music for the first time every time at the same time. So they're very much a part of what's going on. It's not like, okay, we're going to do this and you get to see us. It's not like that. It's everybody's very much with us, and we're very much with everyone as individuals and as an ensemble, and with who the audience that we have. And we've had really great, wonderful, receptive audiences because the music is improvised, but it is not without form.
Exactly.
Much like carrying on a conversation.
Yeah.
It's that, but we're just speaking with our instruments, so it doesn't matter, you know, this color or this color or this color or this color or this language or that language. The music goes beyond the borders, beyond the boundaries, beyond the politics, beyond all of that. Because we're experiencing it with you the first time, with you, with us. We're not just presenting something like this is what we've done. It's like this is what we are doing together. And that's one of the things that happens. Not only with harmonies and melodies and rhythms, but also sometimes with just the silence that occurs when we're playing. Sometimes there's just silence in between things. Sometimes things just end. But not because somebody is saying this is the end or this is the beginning. And there is no, like when you're meeting with people to have a conversation, you know, you don't say we're going to talk about this and only this and we're going to not talk about that. No. Everything just kind of evolves. And we're riding that wave.
Yeah.
Because you can't, anybody who says that they're controlling a wave, I don't know what they're talking about.
Well, you know, I like it when, you know, when not only, you know, that connection between us when we become one, and then the audience becomes one, and then the vibrations of the room actually starts changing. You know, I mean, I remember that day we were playing up at Loyola Marymount in this sort of office building. Remember that time we were in that office building, and then, you know, and the lights were all bright, and it was like this weird kind of situation, you know. But when we began to play and come together, and everything started to come together, that the whole place just transformed into something else. You know, the vibrations of the room transformed, and you know, and all of that, and that let me know that day that there's something special here. There's something special here because
Did we do that? The first gig we did was at the Blue Whale, right?
No, here.
was here at the stage.
It was here.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say that when we did the Blue Whale, I've worked at this club before, and we had a few people. But when we
We had
played,
standing room.
it was phenomenal, and it was the energy that we received from the audience when we played. It's got to be some of the most. I was surprised at the response. I was wow. We have something.
Yeah.
Because people and it just came from where it comes from, and that was. But the people that heard this music and were engaged in it, like Chris was saying, how we do it. But if the people are there, they're also doing it. They're there with us.
Right.
So the sort of process is bringing us into a little slightly different terrain of creative extension of our musical traditions.
Yeah. How do y'all feel about, being able to take this music to the world and is there, do you feel that there is any place in the world that you would like to actually take this music to, and where we could all go there, and is there any place that you think about?
Well, I have my ideas, but I think that the whole world should hear some of this music.
Yeah.
I mean, there's places though that I would be very curious to see what the response is, and I think it would be magic. See, if we went to let's say Morocco
Yeah.
and played this music,
Mm.
I think if we went to Japan and played this music,
Well,
you put it in the universe. Just say, because we need to put it in the universe.
pick a spot.
Yeah.
well, this is a good point, and especially that you mentioned Japan, because our other family member, Tomo, who you're not seeing tonight, but he's working the audio and video for us, and has been doing that maybe from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And Tomo and I were talking about in a city close to, or area close to Kyoto, where they have old temples, and they've been having jazz festivals right in front of these temples. So yeah, let's take it to Japan, and this kind of energy, this spirit-filled energy, in front of a temple in Japan, that would be magic.
What do you think about if we were? Do you think that the music that we do would be accepted in churches?
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. That was when Christopher wasn't able to be with us, and so we had.
Marimba.
But she played that.
Maia.
Maias.
Yeah,
thank you.
Maia.
Maia played the harp and flute for that gig, but she played vibes on another gig.
Yeah.
And then we had Slam played the one Blue Whale gig that you weren't able to make. That was also, it was magical to sense that possibility of another soul coming into the family, and it works.
Yeah. So because to me, that's the thing about the world stage. To me, I feel that the world stage is a church.
Mm-hmm.
And this place is to me probably more pure than most churches. The one thing that Billy Higgins, when he started the world stage, it was all about the music. We don't really sell anything, and he didn't want any kind of cigarettes, no drugs, no alcohol. Nothing can come inside of this place, because he wanted it to be some place where we can bring our children, our young children, where they can come and see it, because you know, they need to see what it is that we're doing, so that they can get the vibration as well. And so, you know, this place, that's the one thing that we have tried to maintain is that spirit of purity in this place. And you know, if somebody comes in here with a beer or something like that, somebody's gonna grab them and take them. You gotta get out of here. You know, you can do it whatever you want to do outside, but you can't do it in here. You know, and so I see this is kind of like my church. You know, because I know what we're doing here. You know, we're not saying one thing and doing another. You know, we're practicing what we preach in this place here. So, you know, along with this, I would like to see us, you know, do more places like this. You know, I know that colleges and universities, they're open to vibrations like this, and you know, and I think they could benefit. You know, just like when we played at UCLA. And did the thing there, you know. I mean, you know, I want us to be able to do that, because you know, I think that they're you know, they're fertile for this kind of expression. So I you know, I just hope that people will you know, because I would not say that this is necessarily what people, you know, would consider a jazz record.
Right.
You know, I mean, I don't know what kind of record it is, really. You know,
It's a music record.
Yeah.
It's honest.
I mean, I know that you have to put it in some kind of category in terms of promotion and all of that stuff. But I certainly do not see this as there are elements of jazz in it. There's elements of all kinds of things in this music. But you know, I don't know. Maybe this is sort of creating its own genre, if you will.
If I could jump back for just a second, we were talking about church. When we played here the second time, it was for the Angel City Jazz Festival, and a good friend of mine who's followed us, name will be, we won't talk about his name, but he said, you know, after we played for that festival concert, he said, you know, I don't go to church, but he said, I went to church last night.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
There's some other things that I wanted to mention too about the recording, because we did a first recording at Scott Fraser, the music technician for Kronos Quartet. That's where we started. The initial recording was there, and then it moved on from there. But the thing I wanted to mention about the recording is that Dwight said to us before we started doing what we do, he wanted each person to have their own intro, their own beginning and statement, and then we would come into that. And that was such a beautiful way to do things. And you can hear it in the album, that they're a place where Pablo starts a piece, where Christopher starts a piece, Derf, Dwight, myself, and John B. And then the fact that we did this recording, I think it was October of 2018. And if you listen to the lyrics on Dwight's choice of pieces on this, and it's so on point for right now, for what the world is going through right now. I mean, it's in there. So you're not only going to get the magic of what we do musically, but you're going to get the stories that are connected to the auspiciousness of then to right now. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, well, no, I really don't know what the heck made me want to do those things, you know. And I just think that it's also, you know, just like, you know, I'm sure Derf, when you play, you know, what makes me want to play the way I play, or what I'm gonna play right now, you know. And I don't know that outside of just, you know, giving it up to the Spirit and the surrender to the Spirit is the only thing that I can would be able to add to that. But you know, I don't know. I mean, what, you know,
what we're doing is so individually different than a lot of the other bands because we're being creative and we're really at the forefront of what's happening because we're egoless and we're good at on the instruments that we play and we do and it's uplifting to the audience who hear us play because they become part of what we're doing and really gives us a motivation to step further into the atmosphere of what's going on. And I'm very proud to be a part of this organization and what we're doing. And we have a lot of things to come, you know, from what we're doing, because we're really on the threshold of something that's even greater that's coming. And that's what I feel.
Well, you know, Derf, you know, and I'm hoping that people, you know, will get it. You know, to me, Derf is a rhythm master. Not only a rhythm master, but he is a person who is actually somebody who invents things, new rhythms, all of that kind of stuff. Derf is an inventor. You know, I mean, you know, people don't really know, but you know, Derf has invented dances that went all around the world. He is an inventor. You know, his whole thing is just, you know, come from a place of innovation and invention. You know, I mean,
American Bandstand.
Yeah.
Well, and then, like say we was mentioning Japan, I was over there and we were doing a Tokyo MTV, and I said I was the first one to play live on Tokyo MTV, and that they had Tokyo Soul Train with Don Cornelius' voice, and I did commercials for him playing like djembe. But the thing about it is that like you were saying, well, I did make a couple of dances when I was a teenager, and I do try to innovate to not just be what everybody else is doing, because as a percussion player, you know, and Pablo mentioned it to me earlier that they like playing in the pocket. I don't really put myself in a position where okay, I'm clave bound. You know, I've always tried to get to the other side and really try to create something other than just. You know, I try to really create something and blend in with what's going on, and then at the same time try to say something musically with what's going on. So and this group gives me a chance to do that without being pressured to do a certain thing.
Like the tradition that we have it.
Yeah.
You have the traditional musics. We all play different traditional musics. But we're able to break free from that within this group because there's no ego. And we're able to move and create without these limitations that are sometimes hoisted upon us in life and in limitations that we have. We know our limitations too.
Right.
So when we're playing together, I keep seeing it. It's like the experience level of all of these gentlemen and John. That's why this works. I think that's why.
Yeah, and it reminds me.
That's my thing.
In the beginning, I was when I knew it was going to be 3 percussionists, I thought, oh wow, I'm going to have to find a way to get out of the way. But I'd have to use like an idea that Ayrto used to when he was working with his wife with Flora Perrine, and she wanted to start playing percussion, and that's the way that he talks. He talks about if I'm doing these, then you should work on these. Like, and if he's doing metal, then she should do seeds or something that would be like you said, the conversation would go differently. And that happens all the time with the 3 of us. We find these ways that there's not clashing. It's blending and it floats, and it's such a magic thing to have 3 of us in percussion and to have that happen.
Yeah.
And then you bring in percussion at times too.
And Dwight
As
too.
well as Dwight, yeah.
I think the whole group is we're approaching it from the root of the percussion. It is the percussion. To me, when I'm hearing things, when I'm playing, I'm hearing where your cymbals are,
Oh, yeah,
what
yeah.
that tonality is, where this wood block is. What is that? What is Dwight singing? Where's Dwight getting it? He's getting it also from
Mm-hmm.
maybe John. But where John get it from? He might be listening to Derf, you know. So it's this round circle of love that it's great, man.
Yeah, it's so great to work with you in that way because I've heard recordings of us, well, some of it's on there, but we get some even on the stream. We're just, there are these things that happen and all of a sudden we're doing a ka, 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 and we're doing it together. And it's beautiful.
It's the heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know.
Can you remember any of what they said in the review from Japan?
Me?
No, Christopher.
I should quote it. We should say I said it in Spanish, but in English we're
Oh, you
getting
did.
we're getting reviews from Asia, the Americas, Europe, and the reason we did our little thing in Spanish is because a lot of times this music is not played in south of what is now the border, whether it's Mexico, Central America, or South America, whole other world that we've all, I think most of us have played in those countries, those continents as well as Asia. And the music is, like Dwight says, it's like, people are used to serving things certain ways to certain people, and when you find, but there's people that are going to taste, we just want you to taste this, but they want to taste other things. They're like, wow, I didn't know it was going to be this good.
Yeah.
So that's a huge blessing that we have somebody that's able to be the go-between for us. That's a quote-unquote non-musician, to let the world know that we exist and what we do, how we do. Because the real important thing for me is the intention behind the music.
Oh, yeah.
It's never about, I'm going to solo, so everybody has to look at me and you guys just go away.
That plays so great.
There's none of that on stage.
No.
And the main reason is because everybody's listening. Everybody's listening. It's just like a conversation. It sounds not. That's the best articulation I can give it. Is that it's like a conversation where all things are happening all at once. Some people lay back, some people come forward, some people talk at the same time. But the idea is, so I guess you need to understand. Every piece is a different frame and a different canvas and different paints. And that's how it's not like, okay, we're going to paint in blue, and this is going to be blue. It's like, when we start, the only direction might be, Derf, you're going to start. It's never Derf playing 4/4 and play this or play that or play this kind of feel or playing this tonality. It's just like, it just kind of evolves. It just kind of happens. And I think we've all been on stage where a musician is like, I wanted it to go here. And that kind of killed everything. It just kind of like, like I'm gonna take it here no matter what. And you're like going,
That's usually piano players.
I didn't say that.
I didn't mean it.
But
That's a bad joke. I'm sorry.
what happens is it's kind of interesting because like the way we're talking now, things are just kind of happening. It's not like Pablo don't talk and he's gonna talk, and it's not like that. It's at its best, at our best. It's like life.
Yeah.
And we each have our ancestral lineage behind us, and we are in a new world, where all of these worlds coexist at the same time, that didn't exist, thousands of years ago.
100.
You have people over here and people over here and
Couple
people over
hundred
there.
years.
And the main thing Well, one of the things I like to say is that sometimes people put things together for the sake of being different, as opposed to letting just people be themselves. And they are the people. Each of us is a human being, but each of us is different. And
But yet the same.
yeah, but there's no issue about I'm more different than him or he's more different than. There's none of that exists in this ensemble.
Do y'all remember when we were younger and in the days when vinyl was the only thing? There was nothing other than vinyl. And we would sometimes, the covers would be so nice that people would put them in frames and put them on the wall and use them as pictures. Did y'all used to do that?
Yeah.
We would
Stare at
did
the
that.
Read everything on
The liner notes.
Little things on the bottom.
Well, I
There's some great notes in there too.
this cover, what's the guy's name that did the cover? Nep.
NEP.
Nep. Yeah. He's from out of Canada and did this. This cover would probably make my wall.
Already made mine.
This would make my wall. I would have one of these on the wall. Ain't that something that vinyl now? I mean, because personally, I have had my time and the day with vinyl because, like you just go buy a brand new record and then you put it in your car for a minute and then you go someplace for about 20 minutes and then you come back and the thing is all warped and a brand new record, I would always be a stickler for make sure you put the records back in the jacket when you get finished. And my girlfriend, I come home, she have a stack of records just stacked up like that. Like, why didn't you put the records in the jacket, and then you start playing and it has the scratches on it and all of that stuff, so, but the young people now, they're very much into this vinyl now,
What's interesting about vinyl, to me, is in the digital domain, even if it's a CD, if it's in a CD or a USB or you download it, you can hear it anywhere. But when you have an album, you actually have to sit and listen to the album. You actually have to be in a place, you can't have an album in a car.
Right.
You actually have to sit down. I should say, people are actually sitting down, getting the record, putting it on, and listening to it, as opposed to something when they're washing their car or doing their laundry. When they're actually, that's why you see there's not the amount of people buying vinyl is going up because more people are just listening.
Yeah.
Actively listening, active listeners, listening to it.
Yeah, they say that vinyl outsold CDs in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So isn't that something? Because personally, I gave all of my records. I gave them all to my daughter. I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden now here comes vinyl back. Everybody, in fact, this company here, and the other company that I did, the mothership record with, they specialize in vinyl, and some companies are now going back to recording on 2-inch tape.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that something? We thought all that was gone, but here it is again.
It's coming around again.
Yeah, well, I know one thing. It'll make a good picture on my wall.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, I had a thought, which is something it's off from this, sorry, but I'm not sorry. Is that I wanted to point out something about the album, and that is the track that's called Old Bop, which that was a track that Pablo was responsible for because he said, hey, try this, and you went over to John B to get into that pretty much a 6/8 thing that we were doing. And so as Dwight and I were working on titles of the tracks, we said, oh man, Pablo owns this. So the title of that track is Old Bop, which is Pablo backwards. Just so everybody knows.
Obla or regala. That's what they say. All these.
In all respect.
Yeah, well, you know, Breeze got such a great imagination for all of this kind of stuff. So, you know, man, why don't you just title all the tunes? You tell us what they're called, and you do the titles on it, you know. And I think you did a great job.
Oh, thank
You did a great job, you know. In fact, Breeze pretty much organized the order that the tunes were played in as well.
Sequencing.
Yeah. So you know, I mean, I think that's beautiful. You know, the way you put that together and all of that. You know, so I really have to commend you on so much, and it was a joy. You know, just working with you.
Likewise.
You know, being in there. You know, and us hammering away and all of that. You know, I mean, you know, because we spent a lot of hours.
Yes, we did. We listened. In fact, the day that we mentioned that maybe we should have some guitar on there, and we went back in with Scott Fraser and said, hey, do you have a lap steel? He said, well, yeah. But we had to kind of coach him a little bit, but wow, he nailed it. He really brought a beautiful aspect to the lap steel to the recording too.
Yeah, so praise God for it all.
Yeah.
Praise God for it all.
I'll check.
And you know, the thing is we're in the pandemic, so you know, of course, everybody knows why we got our masks on.
Oh, yeah.
And the people now, you know, the sound out that we hear outside, people are now starting to play music on the outside. You know, so that's why we're hearing this music going on, you know, and so on many days in the village of Leimert Park, you will have maybe 5 live things outside happening at the same time.
Yeah.
So you know, so the village is in this pandemic, it seems like the village has gotten bigger and more active than it's been in many years. You know, it's interesting. I don't know how it happened, but
Well,
you know, but most of what we do here now is, you know, we're doing the live stream, you know, and so, but everybody else, you know, even venues that traditionally don't usually have music are having music now. So, who knew?
Well, let me jump off that just for one quick second, and that is that the live stream, which we did here on September 25th, 2020, that was the release of the album. And Tomo right now is working on getting he's getting the audio much better, so that will be up on our YouTube as well as our interviews will be up on our YouTube page, and you can hear even a whole other side of that live stream that we did here on September 25th.
Yes. All right.
Did you?
I was gonna say, like when Dwight was talking earlier about Craig being surprised at other people liking other songs that he wasn't necessarily showing them at first. You know, people have to. There's a train of thought that we've been fed for a long time that people have a limited capacity in regards to their attendance and experiencing something. And if you look at, you guys remember, it used to be called MTV, and there was a thing that used to be called VH1, and these are all 4-camera, 5-camera shoots. And all that stuff has been replaced on YouTube by a guy or a gal. You know, it's bad video with bad audio of band, and more people are watching that, then the MTV doesn't exist anymore. And VH1 doesn't exist anymore.
You know, I had no idea.
So when people tell you, you know, oh, people don't have that attention span. You know, if it's good, they get it.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a good
they're
point.
gonna get it. They're gonna get it. If you know, if they're willing, they'll get it.
Yeah.
So it's been a big blessing to be invited to be a part of this extravaganza.
I'd like to thank Dwight.
Yeah.
Thank you for having the
Yeah.
vision
Yeah.
of doing
Yeah.
this, because it came from you, and so
Came through me.
big thanks came through you. or whatever.
You got out of the
Big
way.
thanks to Dwight.
Yeah. I don't have nothing else to say. Anybody?
Thank you, Breeze.
Thank you so
Oh,
much.
yeah.
I can say one last thing. This is the most we've ever talked about our music. We've talked about other things.
That's true.
Like where we ate, Reggie Park. This was the first
That is
time
true.
we really have done this. So
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
that's all I can.
All right, Breeze. Bless you,
Okay.
brother. Bless
Yeah.
you.
Oh, back
Thank you
at
so much, man.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
And thank you, Tomo.
Thank you, Tomo.
All right, Tomo. Totomo Hoy.
Hey, 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 hey.